Well, welcome back, everyone. You're locked in the Fever FM, and now we have our first guest of the afternoon. And I'm going to give the honor to Zero to introduce the next guest.
Well, hello everyone. This guest is someone I've been talking about for a good while now. She is my very close cousin Aisha, and she's very well known across Pakistan, and a lot of people across the world know her. She's read over 187 books from around the world, and we're going to interview her today.
Hello there, Aisha. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
How are you today?
I'm good. The weather is really nice and cool today. How are you?
Oh, you're just making us jealous. Yeah, you don't.
It's cold over here. Well, it was cold.
Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, actually. We were saying that we're having a warm December at the moment. So what is the degree over there?
Our winters here are like lead summer. So
all right, so we're on the same level then.
It's pleasant and nice.
So I've been hearing a lot about you. You read a lot. You read a lot. 187 books from around the world.
Yes.
Now, what kind of books are they then? What kind of books do you read? Are they like what kind of stories? Are they fiction books? What kind of books you read?
Okay, so for this project, I'm basically just trying to represent all the different countries of the world in terms of literature. So I'm basically reading either novels or short story collections or memoirs from every country of the world. I don't really have a specific genre that I'm focusing on. So I'm reading all sorts of books just to really, get an insight into the life of different authors and their mindsets, and just really get an insight into different cultures.
All right, that sounds good. Is there a story that you've read that just really played with your mind?
I guess I really loved the story called A Long Way Gone. It was from Sierra Leone, and it was about the war and how this one child was forced to become a soldier and his whole rehabilitation process after that. It was just so mind-boggling and so like scary and terrifying in a way. And it was so scary to think that he was someone who was so young and he was just put into this, and how he recovered and everything. It was just phenomenal, and it was written so well. So I think that's a book that will always remain with me, and it made me a lot more empathetic.
Okay. So, reading all these books that you read, how long does it take you to read a book?
It can take anywhere between a day to even a week. Sort of depends on the length of the book and how heavy it just is in general, because some books are more difficult to digest than others. So I think it just depends on all of that, but anywhere between a day and a week.
So you know your 187 books. Now, obviously, you've read loads of books at home, which are not counted in this 187, but these 187 books are from around the world. In what time frame have you read 187 books?
Okay, so it's been spread about, I'd say, 3 years.
3 years.
But that's also, yeah, it's also because there have been times where I've had to sort of stop just because, it's not too easy to firstly get the books here in Karachi. I have to order them through a relative who might be coming from the UK or the US to Pakistan, and then I ask them, can you please just fit in a few books in your suitcase for me? And then there's also a lot of countries from where you don't really get books in English, and English is the only language that I'm reading these books in. So I've actually had to contact a lot of publishers, and I've had to source a lot of unpublished translations, and I think that sort of does lengthen the process. So yeah.
Okay, right then. So I'm gonna go with the first question from Zero.
So my question is, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really excited just about this interview. I've been grinning from ear to ear, but yeah.
Right, so my proper question is, so when you started this project off, did you think that you would get the reaction of the public that you did? Because obviously you've been interviewed, people have written stuff about you, you're in the Pakistani embassy, so many people know who you are now. Did you think at first you were going to get all of the, the positive reaction that you were going to get?
Not at all. I just thought this was like a personal project of mine. I mean, one of my goals was to really encourage people to read, and that's why I did create a page on Facebook. But was I expecting it to reach all these platforms and this length? Not at all. And I'm just so grateful. It's actually a pretty long and challenging story. I did first have a Facebook page, but then it did get deleted because I think I was underage. And then I made a new page with my mom's administration, and that suddenly just like was getting shared by so many people around the world, and it sort of blew up. So it was very exciting.
So did you? So when it blew up, what was the first kind of initial reaction? How did your family react? Because of course, obviously we were elated when we found out. But how did people in Pakistan react? Because everyone here was excited. But how did everyone over there react?
Yeah, everyone was definitely so excited. It was so like just shocking for everyone in a way, and it was just a great surprise. And I'm so glad to have had like such an influence on so many people, and I'm so glad to have had such an impact on people to the point where they have actually began reading and writing just because of this project. Especially they started reading more broadly, which I think is an important message that I'm trying to convey.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll hand it over to who's going next.
We got Emmanuel. Emmanuel's coming in next.
Ask you a question next. See ya.
So we have the trainees over here, and they're all going to be asking you questions today. So I hope you're ready. So that was from your cousin. So you're probably used to talking to your cousin. But now we've got Emmanuel over there. How are we doing, Emmanuel?
Doing good.
Yeah, do you want to speak to our guests?
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
He's got a serious question for you.
Oh, okay. I should be prepared.
I haven't read much books, but what experienced you to read books?
So he's saying that he's not really into reading books. So how would you encourage someone who's not into reading books? How would you encourage them to read books? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a tough question for sure. I think it's just really important to really find the genre that initially interests you. I mean, when I started reading, I was reading fantasy books that if I'm being honest, I did not enjoy at the time. And I think it was when my brother gifted me the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, and that was very different from the fantasy books that I'd been reading. They were very dark, but it was also something that really appealed to me. So I think you just really have to find that one genre that attracts you in the beginning, and you start reading that genre, and then slowly you're gonna broaden yourself, and you're gonna want to explore more authors and more genres and more forms of literature. So I think just find your comfort zone. That's what's important. And storytelling can be fun. I mean, a lot of times when I really didn't want to read myself, I'd have my grandmother read books to me as a child, and that was just so interesting and so captivating, and that really did get me more interested in books. So that's important.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
answer. Good question. Thank you to Emmanuel. Right then, let's go to the next one. The next one, who do we have here? We have Safa. And Safa has a question for you now.
Hi.
Hi, Safa.
So my question is, what is the fastest you've ever read a book, and what made you, what was it about actually? Yeah.
The fastest book I read this book called Mickwell Street. It was from this country called Trinidad and Tobago, and I read that in probably just 3-4 hours. I think it was a good 170 pages, but it was just so funny, and it was an insight into this one community and how they really live their lives. But it was sort of with this comedic twist. I would say it was actually quite a dark story, because it really focused on how how as a society conformity is really rewarded, but it was in such the author's tone was just so sarcastic throughout, and was so full of humor that I really enjoyed it.
So where do you read your books? Do you go into a quiet place, or do you go on the balcony, or where do you read your books? Where you find your peace place to read a book?
Honestly, I can just read anywhere, on the commute, or in my gallery, in my room, anywhere. But I really love reading books in my balcony, especially when the sun's about to set and it's nice and pleasant. So that's the time that I really enjoy reading books. But I also do visit the British Council Library. It's sort of close to my house, and it's really nicely made and decorated. So it's fun to just go there and read.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, then we got one more person who's going to ask you a question. She's a new trainee. She goes by the name of Yara. I'm sure you know what Yara means.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Aisha.
Hi.
So as Nelson Mandela says, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Reading books is also the best thing, in my opinion. So my question to you is, would you ever write your own book?
Thank you for that question. I would love to write my own book. I feel like my habit of reading has really allowed me to write as well. And I'm a literature student as well right now in my A levels. So I'm really into writing. I've written articles for a few newspapers in Pakistan, such as Dawn and the Express Tribune. However, I haven't really gotten to a book yet, but I would love to. Like that's on my bucket list. Yeah.
My favorite book, because I really like reading books as well. I read a lot of books. Is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Have you read that one?
Yes, that's actually the book I read for Afghanistan, and I cried. That was such an emotional book. I really, really enjoyed that one. That was one of the first I actually read for my project. So,
Thank you.
good choice.
Well then. Well, thank you, Aisha, for answering all the questions, and I hope you enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So, what time is it right now in Pakistan?
It's currently 5:47 p.m.
5:47. So, is it dinner time for you?
I eat dinner pretty late, so it's not dinner time for me yet.
Oh, okay. So, what are you going to be eating today?
What am I gonna be eating today? Should I treat myself? Should I get myself some pizza?
Yes, you should. Pizza's great.
Do you like cooking?
I enjoy baking.
You
Not
enjoy
really.
baking?
What do you bake?
I love banana bread. I love making banana bread, cinnamon rolls, basically anything, but it's specifically banana bread.
Okay. So how many books are you planning to read next year?
Next year, I'm gonna have to think about that. I still have 10 books left till the completion of my project because there's 197 countries in the world and I've read 187 so far. So I just have 10 more and then I'll be done with this project of reading.
And then you've clocked it. Then you've been around the
No,
world. So
yeah.
every single book that you read, do you keep it in your bookshelf? Do you keep every single book that you read?
I think it's yeah. So I post reviews of each of the books I read on my Facebook page, and then I have this bookshelf in my room. I mean, it's not really one bookshelf; it's like 3 different shelves in one row. But yeah, that's where I store most of my books. I do have some online copies, but I like reading hard copies, so most of them are stored in my shelf.
So have you ever given a bad review on a book?
I don't like giving bad reviews because I mean, even if I don't particularly enjoy a book, that doesn't mean it's like something that doesn't deserve the appreciation. It just maybe didn't appeal to me, but it could appeal to so many people. So I do mention points that I think did not appeal to me, but it's not like a bad review, I would say. It's just sort of like a constructive criticism, I would call it.
Oh, I see. I get you. So you're very nice in writing about everyone's book. If some book does it for you, then you'll write a lot more about it and you'll go in depth with it.
I'd actually argue with that. I'd go in depth more the book that I have more problems with because
right. You do the opposite.
You said that you would love to write your own book. What will your book be about? Like, would it be about your life? Would it be about just a completely random topic? What would it be about? World issues, or fantasy?
Okay, so I really want to write a book about this community in Karachi called Chakiwara. It's a Gujarati community, and I feel like it's just a place that's so full of life, and there's people there with so many different stories to tell, and I just really want to give the people of that place a voice. So that's I have a dream to write about that place. So
Okay, so we're coming towards the end now. Before we go, tell us a little bit about your hobbies. Do you like Bollywood films or like Pakistani dramas? Do you like to play football, cricket? Like, what's your hobbies?
Okay, so I definitely
Besides
love.
reading.
I'm really into Pakistani dramas. Like I sit with my mom, but every single day at 8 p.m. and we just put on our local Hum TV and AirMy Digital and stuff and just binge watch the Pakistani dramas. Bollywood movies sometimes, but I wouldn't say it's like something I'm regular with. But yeah, I love public speaking as well. So yeah.
And how old are you again?
I'm 16 turning 17 on the 15th of Jan.
All right, next year.
Yeah, next
Less than a
year.
month. Less than a month, actually. Well, advance
Yeah.
happy birthday to you for next month, and
Thank
wish
you.
you all the best, and hope you you will reach your target, which is 197 books before your project finishes, and hopefully we'll speak again. And in the future, we'll look forward to your book that you're going to write.
Thank you
the
so much.
Okay, so then we're gonna leave now with the song. So thank you very much, Aisha, and we wish you
Thank you for having
all
me.
the best and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
you.
Bye.